98 Accord with a 2.2 liter engine, and we have a crank no start. What you do is have someone turn the key over while you listen for the fuel pump to prime. And I went ahead and checked injector pulse with the noise lights, and we do have injector pulse. And so close to the beginning of the video, you can see we have the engine running already, so it's like a M. Night Shyamalan twist, right? Something like that. So another first test I did was checked for spark at the ignition wires. Now I used this induction spark tester from Lio, I believe, and as you can see here, I'm getting spark on the wires, but when the car originally came in, there was no spark at these wires. So just kind of follow the trail and just work your way down. Now I could have pulled one of the boots off of the end of the distributor and used my test light to check for spark here, but I saw a lot of oil residue at the bottom of the cap, so I just wanted to open it up and inspect. And you got 3 little screws on each side, and it's just so easy to take off, so I figured why not. So when I first took it off, the first thing I noticed was the rotor. So this is a brand new rotor that I installed, but here goes the one that was on the car, and as you can see right in the center right there, it's like just burnt up. And at the end, this end right here, you can see that's also just has a bunch of burnt residue on it. So that rotor is pretty much toast as far as I was concerned. And it's very easy to change out. You got that one screw right there on the side that holds it, and it'll slide right off. Then you could go ahead and grab your test light and connect it to ground, and you're gonna hold it right next to this coil right here and have someone crank the key over. And while the engine's cranking over, you should see a spark jump from the coil pack over to your test light, indicating that you have a good coil pack. So here's the old distributor cap, and you could see the residue of the old oil that would just puddle up right here. So that one specific post right there at the bottom looks especially bad. The other 3 look a bit cruddy. So obviously I replaced the rotor, the cap, and I already explained that I also replaced the rotor and also replaced the ignition wires, and this is why. Some of them are broken, some of them are burnt and melted. Now they were all stuck on the engine, like I had to use all my force just to pull them out, and most of them the stem ended up just breaking inside of the engine, so I had to get some like needle nose pliers to yank the rest of it out. And here you could see the extreme heat that these things went through and why they failed. So I know people make fun of all the time, oh yep, classic plugs and wires, but in this case the wires did fix a problem, along with the cap and the rotor that I went ahead and put on it. So now the Accord starts up like a champ, and that's all taken care of, but it has a few other things that we have to look at before I release it back to the customer. So I get in it this morning to start it up, and I noticed my butt got wet. So I'm like, why is the seat wet? I checked the window, maybe I left the window open overnight, but I did not. So I turned the steering wheel and I noticed this water pouring out, and you could actually see the water inside of here. So if the water's making it into the steering wheel cover, it must mean it's coming from up here somewhere. And sure enough, it looks like someone's been here already trying to prevent this water from getting in. And I'll tell you what, that really sucks. That'll ruin your day. But we need to go underneath the car for the next thing that I need to look at. So last time this car left the customer stranded and I had to go out and help him, the car would not shift out of park, I believe, or drive, something like that. And it's got these bolts that hold on the shift linkage onto the actual engine or the transmission. And when I got there, I found one of the bolts on the ground, so I went underneath the car and noticed what was wrong. So somehow all three of these bolts backed themselves out. Well, at the time I thought it was just two. I didn't notice the third bolt that's actually sitting right here in this frame. And at this point I still haven't even noticed it, that it's just sitting there and it's being held in place because of the bracket. Without that bracket it would have fallen out as well. So that's exactly when I went to go look at the car, this is how it was sitting, just like that. So I took that one bolt out and I tried to get the thread pitch so I could go ahead and find another bolt sitting in my little random bolts pile. And it didn't take long before I found one, so I did find one. It's a bit shorter than what I wanted it to be, but there's still enough length on it for it to work. And for some added security, let's go ahead and put a little bit of thread locker on these two bolts. So here's a point where I noticed that third bolt just sitting there. And it was completely covered in oil and whatnot, so I just went ahead and got some brake parts cleaner to try to get it off before I apply my blue thread locker. And now we have all three bolts in place with blue thread locker on them, so they shouldn't be backing themselves out anymore. Well, I guess if you're not bleeding by the time you're done with the job, I guess you didn't do it right. No, that's I hate getting cut. So the final things we have to look at before we center on our way are that the two rear door handles do not work. Now, just based off of the way they move, I could already tell you that these door handles are busted and it needs new door handles. See that play that it has? It should not have that amount of play. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it apart anyways. Why? Because to show proof. And right here, the proof is in the pudding, guys. So it is broken. You can see right there. And the passenger side door handle is exactly the same way. And that's it, guys. So if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.